No matter how much I turn the door handle, the door won't open. Suddenly, the door is gone and the handle is in my hand, and I am standing in the middle of the room. The ground beneath me rotates, and it becomes day. I don't know when, but a door, now in a different shape, appears before me again. The round door handle that is left in my hand, I place into the empty spot of its groove, and open my eyes. I raise my hand and block the light. The indistinct sounds of the environment turn into the sound of cultural music. Culture is sitting upside down on the ceiling and slightly pulling the top of the curtain towards himself with his fingers. The warm mid-morning light, in the frailty of winter, journeys from the east to the center of the sky, peeking into my room. The light streams directly from the right side of the room, illuminating a corner and landing on my eyes. I have completely forgotten the dream and the doorknob by now. My effort in remembering it is no longer useful.
Good morning. Sorry if we woke you.
He laughs. I mumble that I'll get up soon and tilt my head slightly to angle it away from the light falling on my eyes. Culture fully draws back the curtain and in the shadow of the other half of the room exits upside down with playful mischief, blowing a kiss into the air towards me. Squinting under the sunlight, I try to shoot him a half-hearted glare. He calls out loudly.
3 more rooms to go.
I reply, by this time next year, get a smaller house. I pause for a moment and add with a smirk. And make sure it's brand new. No need for spring cleaning.
But it comes with 1,000 other hassles.
I make my bed tidily, leave the room, and flop onto the sofa. He arranges the books neatly on the floor, emptying his bookshelf.
Don't trade your tomorrow for your night.
I had things to do.
Well, you could have done it now.
It's too late now.
Late indeed. The morning sun has been calling your name for hours.
I slide my hand through the stack of books piled next to the sofa and randomly pick one. It's Hafez. I make a wish, open the book, and softly murmur, I had a project to submit. I try to read one of Hafez's poems aloud. The intricate Nastalk script makes it nearly impossible for me to decipher. He reads it properly for me, effortlessly flowing over the words.
Blessed is the heart that never strays from the path of vision, that answers every call and never leaves unaware. And at the end he says, steer not the hoopoe's crown from its destined flight, for the white falcon does not descend to chase every fleeting delight. Now bring forth the wine and place it first in Hafez's grasp, but only on one condition, that no wisdom shall leave this gathering unspoken.
While he's reciting the poem, I get up and head to the kitchen, opening the fridge. The yellow light inside the fridge falls on a piece of Koya cheese. We've got nothing to eat. I pick up the cheese and with my index finger place a piece of its creamy form in my mouth. Isn't it raining today? So we can go shopping? I go back to my room to pick up my phone. As I pass Culture, I run my fingers through his curly hair. He has randomly opened the Book of Gilgamesh and, with an admiring gaze, reads a few lines from it carefully.
Tell me, how might I journey to meet him? And tell, how shall I know him once again? If I must cross the sea, then so shall I. Else a wanderer I remain, lost in the void.
Phone in hand, I step out of the room. The soft sound of raindrops reaches me from behind the window. It says the rain will start at 11. But I think it's already begun. I slightly move the curtain aside, but sunlight hits my face. Water droplets drip from the edges of the air conditioner onto the veranda. It's the air conditioner making that sound. It's dripping. Must be broken. Ha! Hoopoe! Hoopoe! He lifts his head and looks at the hoopoe.
What is it, dear? Haven't you seen a hoopoe before?
The hoopoe has arrived.
On my desk in the room there's a scroll. Could you bring it for me?
Culture gets up and walks towards the balcony door. Poe, with small hops, makes its way to Culture, who unties a letter from its leg. I hand the scroll and pouch to Culture, and then gently stroking the hoopoe's soft feathers. Culture ties his own letter to the hoopoe's leg. He brings a bowl of water and places it so the hoopoe can rest from the journey.
He will take care of himself. Just leave him be.
Then delicately places it in the drawer of his room. I've put the kettle on and go hunting for a melody among the tracks on the music player where Culture has arranged his records.
Shall we listen to something?
We shall.
What mood are you in?
In response, he reads to me from Sadi's Golestan.
Who traded wisdom, piety, and restraint, reaped a harvest, only to see it burnt and faint.
Ah, so you're in the mood for Mirza Abdollah then?
I place Mirza Abdullah's record on, and a voice at the start announces دستگاه شور در آمد. As the music begins to play, I go to the kitchen and make myself some tea. I put strong Gilanti on the candle to brew. While Culture finishes organizing the bookshelf at the end of the hall, I've given the fridge and a few of the cabinets a spring cleaning touch. I pull the curtain back again to check. Has the rain started, or is it still just the sound of the air conditioner dripping? The sun still shines brightly in the clear sky. I close the curtain as Culture starts dusting off the records and instruments. As he opens the tambour and setar cases one by one on the floor, he says something about each one. With greater care and reverence, he takes one of the tambours out of its case and says,
Hello, how are you, my dear?
Farabi?
Dear Abu Nasr al-Farabi, 1,100 years old.
He sits in a corner, his hands as gentle as feathers, plucking a note on the tar. I pause the record midway through the Abu Atta melody, pour myself some tea, and glance outside from behind the curtain.
The sky gradually turns grey, with cotton-like clouds in various shades of grey gathering together.
From the built-in cupboard near the door, I pull out a large bag.
The bag is 1.5 times my size. I ensure there are no seams or tears in the bag and clean it thoroughly. I bring out my needle and thread and start mending the bag.
All right, first let's go to Argentina, then France, after that Venice, then Athens, Tokyo, Turkey, Iran, Japan, and we'll return home.
Are you preparing the Haft scene?
My mum's prepared it. We'll pick it up on the way to Iran.
I pull the curtain aside, and the sound of raindrops grows louder. Culture carefully packs up the instruments, puts on his raincoat, slips on his leather gloves. I take the banknotes from different countries out of my dresser drawer, climb into the bag and sit down. Culture comes over to close the bag, and I look precisely at Culture, taking in the beauty of his eyes. I zip up his thick coat all the way to his neck. With my fingertips, I softly touch his silver beard. He pats my head gently and closes the zipper of the bag. Culture lifts the bag onto his shoulder, kneels on the ground to prepare, and then takes off. Slowly and gently, we rise from the ground. Before I know it, we're soaring over the Pacific Ocean. I climb out of the bag and stretch thoroughly. Culture, exhausted, heads to the single armchair and sits down. He pulls out a book he picked up from the Tokyo Museum and begins reading under the study lamp. He looked pale. I put another candy in my mouth and swallow, trying to pop my ears. Gradually, the sounds of the environment return to their natural state. Toss a few logs into the fireplace. I drape a blanket over Culture. He sits under the light, finding peace as he reads his book. I carry the shopping bags into the kitchen. The sun rises behind the windows, and with the fire lit inside the house, it quickly warms up. Culture carefully places the book on the table. He's nearly halfway through the book. I stand in the middle of the room, pondering where to set up the Haft scene, and turn to Culture and ask,
What was it about?
Kojiki?
Uh-huh.
It's a collection of Japanese legends and myths. It holds foundational information about Shinto.
He gets up and leaves the hall.
I pick a spot near the indigo blue wall and begin dusting.
The sound of culture showering echoes softly. I pull back the curtain and see the sun gently emerging from behind the dense clouds.
I place the half-seen items one by one into the dishes, arranging them carefully. The dance of light on the wall, created by the sun reflecting off the water, carries me away from this world.
Culture, now showered, returns to the room and sits on the sofa, glancing around.
I want to move this bookshelf.
Pointing to the one he is dedicated entirely to Eastern philosophers.
He picks up the kojiki, stretches out on the sofa, and begins reading the rest of the book.
Why do you keep reading these books when you've practically memorized them?
It's like visiting old friends. Every time you read a book, you're inviting its author over for a chat.
Why are these visits so important?
Because in the mirror of the wise and the great, you can glimpse your greatest self. You must take care of yourself, your essence. And those who know the way can teach you how to do it. You learn to care for what you have and to love the place where your roots lie.
Should I finally come to know myself, or should I come to know others?
Both, but remember, you come from a family. You are tied to a place, to a language you know deeply. You cannot unknown this language, and no other language can be learned with such depth. This is who you are, but you must also learn other ways of connection.
Why you have 2 copies of the same book?
Where?
There, 2 copies of The Alive Son of Awake.
Oh, these are 2 completely different books, by 2 different philosophers. One is by Avicenna and the other by Ibn Tufayl.
I stretch and ask, why do you want to move the bookshelf?
Change is good. These little ones need more exposure to light.
Can I not help?
Of course, you have to help.
Why do you read everything? Why not just focus on yourself?
Because there's no such thing as a separate self. Everything is interconnected. The self is vast and collective. You have to learn to move beyond yourself and see the greater reality to truly understand more. You must open your eyes to see and recognize the truth.
And what is the truth?
Light.
He picks up Suhrawardi's book, The Philosophy of Illumination, and reads a passage aloud to me.
If there is anything in existence that does not require definition or explanation, it must be something self-evident, and nothing is more self-evident than light, for nothing requires less definition than light itself.
Thinking about what he said as I walk towards the curtain and close it so we can move the bookshelf, he heads to the room, retrieves Farabi's tanbour and adjusts its tuning. I push the now empty and lightweight bookshelf to the spot Culture pointed out. He begins playing the tanbour. The sound of Culture's playing lifts me from this world, carrying me to another realm. Meanwhile, I arrange the last of the Eastern philosophy books on the bookshelf. Illuminationism, philosophy, and perennial wisdom. I turn on the air conditioner, wander around the house and admire its cleanliness while nibbling on the chocolate, savoring it piece by piece. Lost in my thoughts, the combination of the tambour's melody and the gentle dripping of water pulls me into deep contemplation. Imagining the rain and lost in my daydreams, I suddenly pull the curtain wide open. Sunlight floods the house all the way to its farthest corners, and the sound of the tambour abruptly stops.
Without looking behind me, tears stream down my cheeks. The sound of the air conditioner's dripping fills the space with a heavy stillness.
I look back, see a golden dust settling on all the books, shimmering under the sunlight. I walk toward the golden dust left behind by Culture, extending my hand into the sunlight. Dust rests gently in my palm. With care and reverence, I place the tanbour on the sofa. I return to where Culture had been sitting, take his seat, and stare at his bookshelf.
Reaching for Hosen Odell by Sebek Neishapuri,
I open it and begin reading, surrounded by the lingering dust of Culture.